Okay.
Spooky pyramids.
Spooky pyramids.
So just to begin with, like, to clarify, like, we are currently enrolled in an MLM in network marketing. So just to make it clear that we have an unbiased opinion of this subject, is that we both were very reluctant in the beginning to join one. We had our doubts, we had misconceptions, which we want to share with you. We'll get into the details of that, but basically it's like the reason that we want to clarify this is because we're met with a lot of resistance from people who have misconceptions about what an MLM is and what it could do for them and how it's going to change the world.
Yeah, because as a structure, it can be applied to like so many varying different businesses. And we get a lot of not just like, I don't feel the resistance maybe just towards me, but I mean, I just hear it, I see it everywhere. People just sweeping it all in one.
Yeah, and if you look online, there's like two broad camps of like, MLMs are all scams. They're all going to fuck you over. And then there's ones that are like, it's going to change your life. It's amazing. It's going to change the way the world works.
So I had to fall in love first with the products. I wasn't out looking for an MLM to get involved with. And that was actually probably when I learned it was an MLM, I did have the resistance initially and said, I was approached by a lot of MLMs. You weren't maybe approached as much, but I was approached, and I had like my reaction, my knee-jerk reaction is just, as soon as I find out you're an MLM, get away from me. Like, right.
And a lot of people are online and in person. They're really reluctant. They're just like, oh, what is this? Like, why are you selling me something? And the way we align with this one is like the approach is sharing, and it's not salesy at all. So like maybe let's give a background to our work experience just to show like our path here. So I worked as like an editor and designer for like the past like 15 years, 20 years almost. So it's like I've experienced working in a corporate environment, in an office. I've done freelance work, working with clients individually or within a team, contract-based work. When I was working in an office environment with health benefits for years.
You started your own company?
I started my own business. I know how that went down, and I've experience with that. So like a broad spectrum of types of work. I've been, I think, fortunate to experience a lot of different types of work to give me perspective on joining an MLM. And initially I was reluctant because it seemed like this is like a get-rich-quick scheme, and I know that you have to put hard work in to make money and make a living, so I'm not going to fall for that. But honestly, like Allison said, it's like the products were the game changer, and because like I'm not going to start selling some ugly leggings online. I have no business, but like the products that we found, Purium, it's like it was perfectly in time because I was like, I'm tired of getting sick. I don't want my kids getting sick anymore. It's bullshit. Like, people do not need to be getting colds and fevers anymore, which we don't. We haven't gotten sick for like 6 months since we've been taking it. And just all these amazing benefits.
And for the vegan movement, because we were seeing all around us people who either said they couldn't go vegan for health reasons, for nutrition deficiencies, or as I was also told for my iron deficiency that I couldn't, or that you see all these people who were vegan who turn back, who do actually the worst damage in the vegan movement is they're going back because they're not getting
hashtag no longer vegan.
Yeah. So that was so going to my reason why it was actually also I had done everything, different types of, I was a freelance stylist. I worked in, for big companies. I've worked for small companies, startups. I've done I've really
artists worked as we're struggling as an artist, so we know how that is,
Yeah, all those different above, and as well, like I just I wasn't thriving in the corporate structures or even just any really like I found that first of all, I had to align with a company. I'm a very stubborn person. So I was not like I was never that favorite employee because I can't just work against my morals.
Yeah,
so
like your core principles
really
have to align with whatever the principles of the network is, you know?
Yeah. So it was really hard for me to find a company, especially even in fashion, that really, takes into consideration environmental impact. And it was really hard for me to swallow just, doing something because I'm told to. So
yeah. Okay, so basically, like the misconception about pyramid schemes is like pyramid schemes are illegal. That's why they're called schemes, Ponzi schemes or whatever. And a lot of them operate in that gray area where, yeah, they're a pyramid structure, and there's upline, downline, and people kind of join and are recruited, and
and you have to be a brand partner, and
yeah, exactly.
all these limitations. You have to buy a certain amount, and
yeah,
there's a lot.
So the one that we joined, it's been around since 1993. So obviously not a scheme. It's working. They operate within like a network marketing framework, but the concept is essentially sharing economy. And
we don't want to push anyone that doesn't want this. And that's
anyone who knows me is like, I'm not a salesy person. I don't like sales. I tried telemarketing and I was sucked at it. And I'm just like,
I never did that. That's horrible.
And I'm not comfortable selling things in person even. Like all I want to know is that I'm taking something, I vouch for it, it works, and it could work for you too. And that's all, no pressure, do what you want.
Yeah.
But
and even our lead, like even our, the owner, the co-founder, Dave, is the first to say he doesn't want people like pushing people in this brand. This is not the kind of brand that you want to sucker someone into. This is for people who want it, because his spokespeople are going to be the people who are living the lifestyle.
I've been approached like by Herbalife and like Arbonne, and like, they all had like something sketchy. You could tell that their motivation was dollar bills, and like they overstep, like they're tapping into like the health food kind of craze, or like the plant-based movement for profit. Whereas Purium, it's like their core principle, their mission is to heal humanity, which like for me, it wasn't really like my core thing a few years ago, but more and more I'm seeing now that like as I get healthier, it's like the only way to heal the world is to heal yourself first. And someone who's eating garbage every day and polluting, it's like they're not going to take care of the earth the way we should be. So our core principles immediately align with this one. The people at the top aren't making as much money as people underneath them. So that idea of a pyramid is completely falsehood. And the fact is like, we are entering late stage capitalism right now. There is like a fundamental problem with the way things are, and everyone can see it. There's like a student debt crisis, people who are working full time, they have no benefits, they're sleeping in their cars, they're destroying the environment, and all to just drive down costs of things. They're outsourcing labor. There's like an animal labor, there's slave labor happening, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And we need to individually start making changes so that we can go towards a sharing economy. And there's good things happening, like Airbnb, a huge disruptor. Uber is a huge disruptor, but for a good cause. A lot of people lost jobs. A lot of people were fucked over by these companies, but this is a sharing economy, and people more and more want things to be sourced ethically, and they don't just want crap sold to them. So the fact is like, yeah, in the end, we are selling something, but it's healing people. It's changing people's health, and it's going to heal the world. So we aligned with that.
Yeah. And so some of the criticisms I've heard are soulless, which Jared just addressed. I don't think there's anything soulless about MLMs fundamentally.
And like that idea of like people online are like get away from me. You're like a snake oil salesman, and like those types of people are kind of like closed off to the idea that like someone likes something, so they're vouching for it and they're selling it. Like they're only used to being marketed by corporations.
Yeah,
so
which they don't have a problem with. But as soon as I when we posted about Sushi Momo and I did that video that got like 20,000 views, did Sushi Momo even give me a free drink? No. Like, you know, it's like we're advertising constantly for companies. Right. We're doing this already just because that's sharing is actually in our nature.
Like someone who's devoted their life to a company or who's built businesses, who's an entrepreneur, who's successful or not, they're going to look down on an MLM thinking like, oh, like you guys just like want to like bypass all the hard work part because you're going into a company that's already established and, you know, just trying to get rich quick off me. And I'm not going for that. But the fact is like, why not be involved in something that isn't as risky, you know, is not as much as an investment. And for us specifically,
and there is hard work involved.
Yeah, no, you have to work hard at it if you want to be successful. Like that's another truth about it. And we'll be honest is that, you know, like the vast majority of people don't do great with it. And the thing is like you have to, go.
Yeah, well, but I would say, yes, you have to work hard, but hard work isn't synonymous with boring or hard or drudgerous. It's like, actually it's hard work, but it's for the first time ever, hard work is fun.
Yeah
like exactly. This is our work. We're working right now. So we're like, I just feel like
and so many people are on social media right now being
I was doing it all
like,
already.
Yeah. Like if you're on Facebook or whatever, like they're just using your data. You're contributing all that. You're actually like paying their bills for them. You're essentially a marketing tool already, but you're getting nothing for that. And so why not like get a little bit of profit from these fucking monster corporations that are like
use Facebook, right? Because like Facebook is definitely using you. So just find your way to use the system back.
Yeah, and it's not like you're using individual people. It's just a platform.
Yeah.
And essentially with the sharing economy, it's just like, here's all my free fruit. Who wants it? You know what I mean? And it's not like I'm trying to like take advantage of people. And the fact is like, your family and friends are going to be the first to say no, to give you the finger and be like, get away from me with your sales stuff.
That's
like,
true.
It's just something you have to deal with. And, you know, we know firsthand, like our close friends aren't into it because they're just like,
some of them are, but when people try it, they are. But I think knee-jerk reaction for some reason, like, is just this closed mind. Like if you're selling something, I don't want it on principle, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost...
Meanwhile, if we had started our own business and built something from the ground up and we're like, here's like the Jared and Allison brand, like green juice, like maybe they'd be more responsive. Yeah. But it's like, there's going to be that resistance. But the fact is you're on a world stage now. You don't... Like people who are successful with this business, it's like they reach millions of people. They take advantage of the tools that they have and they reach millions of people because there's people all over the world who want what you have.
Yeah, they're already buying it. You know, I'm sure most of my friends, even in family who isn't buying it through me, are still buying it through someone else, which is fine as so long as it's not supporting companies like, you know, Nestle owns a lot of these like healthy green juices. Like I'm really all about like, you know, finding sources that are ethical. So I hope that anyone who's not buying it from me is also sourcing it from another ethical source. And hopefully eventually they'll learn that I have the best one and, you know, they'll buy it from us. But
you're basically just facilitating from source to the customer the same way like Uber is just connecting drivers to people who need rides. So it's an algorithm. So we're essentially an algorithm connecting you to farm fresh superfoods without a middleman.
Yeah.
So you're saving money and, you know, there's no middleman profiting off.
And it's a very transparent company. So I love that we can meet the owners and, you know, hang out with them and and visit the facilities and like everything is very transparent. So when you're dealing with, you know, any big corporation, it's really hard to find the sources of where they get things.
And like things like Herbalife and Arbonne, it's like you look into it and there's always like something sketchy going on. And like we did explore that. And, you know, the only experience I've had with an MLM was I was younger and like we had a neighbor who was selling Cutco knives. And it's like you can't get them in stores. Like you have to actually deal with someone directly. And like I was a bit put off by that fact. I was like why can't I just go to the store to get it? Like why do I have to pay, like buy them through you? And yeah, it was a bit weird. But those knives are the shit, by the way.
Yeah,
so
like
great.
You're still.
I still want them, but like the fact is like here you are entrusting an individual with the know-how and the expertise to sell you something or just be a facilitator to the product without that corporate persuasion of like trying to pay, like, you know, they have like so much other overhead issues and things that they have to pay for.
Yeah, you're paying for their marketing, you're paying for all the other things.
Yeah, so now this is
and
just
here
like
you're supporting your neighbor at the same time, which is just a beautiful thing, because why not support your neighbor, you know, or some big CEO who's, you know, using his money for yachts or whatever. Like it's
so dispelling myths about MLMs, like honestly, like we're not just putting this out there to be like we're one of the good ones and the rest are bad. It's more just like,
no, there's a lot of good ones out there and there's a lot of bad ones out there, but it's important that we don't generalize, because actually that leads to a lot of bullying and unnecessary hurt. And you know what, you're also not then allowing yourself to experience the benefits, and it's not doing anyone any favors.
And this isn't going anywhere. It's like there's a reason why like Richard Branson advocates for network marketing. Warren Buffett's a big believer. You know, Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, you know, like these marketing geniuses who are like at the forefront of technology are saying this is the future, because it is. And the fact is like a lot of the negative press, a lot of negative media, you hear about it,
it's funded by...
Look where that's coming from. It's corporations that are scared shitless of disruptive individuals and disruptive companies taking money away from their shareholders, because that's their bottom line.
I've heard people think that it's like if you're in an MLM, you're fake. And so interesting. I actually do consider myself, I consider one of my job descriptions as I'm a professional friend. And this is like an amazing thing for me to have as like a job description, because I love people. I love working with people and helping people. You know, if you already are just a very giving, naturally like friendly person, this is an amazing way to monetize that. And I don't see anything bad. It's not like I'm going out there being a fake person. Like I'm not backstabbing. Everything I say is what it is. And it's just, it's a way to sort of like encourage that, I guess. Like,
yeah, right. It's like personal growth is a huge part of it. And yeah, like that idea of like a built-in support system that's there. Everyone wants you to do well. It's not just like the people above you who are pushing you. It's like everyone is doing
it's a beautiful community.
Like,
and I wouldn't be where I am right now if I didn't have that. So it's built in that you have the support system and personal growth and development system. And you can use these tools. They're free. Like, I mean, it's there. So it's built in.
So many people we know spend a lot of time helping people grow their own business. You know what I mean? And the idea with this specific company is like you do so well with it that eventually you're going to have residual income where you don't actually have to work at it, where you're just generating money passively, so you can focus on what you're passionate about. And that's our dream, is to like make movies and do cool shit and do art and not have to worry about and stress about money. And that's everyone's.
And we will get that by helping other people become successful. So it's like built in this win-win.
And it keeps growing.
Very
every
symbiotic
day.
Relationships are formed, whether you're a brand partner or a customer. That's built in. And it's like you don't get that from your local health food store. You don't get that from your grocery store. That's for sure. You don't get that kind of attentive.
Yeah. And the fact is like there might be some things that turn you off at the beginning. Like, for instance, like we weren't super into like seminars and workshops and like things that they say you have to do things a certain way. You have to do your homework. You have to do these market research things. The fact is make it your own. You know, like we're in this period of now of evolution with technology where like you could do things radically different and make huge waves. So, you know, do it your own way. I mean, use the tools that they have.
Yeah. Some people come in off the bat thinking, like you said, this is a get rich quick scheme, or like, you know, like they can bypass any of the tools and whatever's available. And I really recommend it. That's just my personal experience from having done both. I'm like, definitely when you join, like, absorb, just be a sponge and just like absorb everything and
learn from people who are successful at it.
Yeah.
But you know, cater to yourself, because you're not everyone is an individual, and that's what's so great.
And use your own skills. Like everyone brings a different thing to the table. So Jared making videos, now we can apply that to, we're going to be doing stuff like that. And just being able to apply your personal unique skills and make it, apply them to this is an incredible opportunity.
To grow your reach.
Because what other corporate job, like they squash you when you want to like get creative and do things your own way. So this is a way that you're actually encouraged to bring your own unique skills to the table.
Yeah, and like if you're working right now or looking for work and you're struggling and it's
or
just
you're stressed in your job and it's not giving you joy,
and you have this notion of like an MLM being like, ugh, like that's like for mom, like work at home moms and like people who sell like ugly leggings and stuff like that. Like just try to erase that concept because it's expanding and it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's really not going anywhere. It's like we're kind of birthing a sharing economy. We're operating within like a capitalist structure, obviously, because we need to make a living, but we're more and more going towards this like healthy sharing.
It's a way
economy.
out of capitalism in a way. It's like if we can make and I wish this on everyone, to be able to make enough money to just pursue your own interests it should be everyone's ultimate goal. So we don't want to recruit and lure people who don't want this. Like that is my objective is to find people who are looking for this. And so that's why, broadening my reach now with videos, we can just kind of, get it out there. Don't try to think of it as like when you join something, like you have to go out there selling. This is an attracting business. And we're,
the people who do really great at it, like they're an inbound call center. They just like put themselves out there, they spread their message and people come to them. And the fact
so there's nothing like, so you don't have to be scared of,
like you're not going to be pressured to make sales.
No, because I wouldn't want anyone who doesn't want this. And you know what? If they do join and they're not doing it, they're not applying themselves to it, and they fall like that. Like I have, I let people like it's okay. They go. Like that's okay. I want to work with really highly motivated people, who want this, and that's And
Purium is great too because like there's no inventory. It's not like we're sitting on a stockpile of like ugly clothes that are stressing us out that we have to sell. No. It's like the shop exists and it's like all the business, all the admin nitty gritty stuff is taken care of. All we have to focus on is sharing it and making it fun and just enjoying it. And, in the end, like we want to retire like pretty young and just, like be making a residual income, which who doesn't want that? So the first time stepping into it can be overwhelming. There seems like there's a lot to absorb, but just know that like there are ways to be successful at it.
And definitely if I can do it, anyone can. Jared knows my work ethic. So
and it's low risk. So it's kind of like try it out. If you don't like the products, take your money back. You enroll, it's like there's no commitment.
That's what I wanted to say. There's no commitment. So you can become a customer or a brand partner. There's no sort of locking someone into that. And I think that's what people get really scared of with MLMs is they suddenly realize they're like spending so much money. And,
spending more than they're making, and it's not worth it.
There's no like it's so little the investment, and it's just the rewards are so great. So health wise and monetary wise, I don't know which is better. They're very equally amazing.
Right. So if you're looking to do something new, like get out of the capitalist grind. Like there is no need to do that. And
it's not even ethical for the most part. People who are working at
like I was fortunate enough
McDonald's
I work part-time now at a company and it's great. I learned a lot, and it's like it's good, it's fine, but like I want more and I want it faster, and here's an opportunity to do that, and why not? So get on it.
Don't judge and don't sweep everything with one brushstroke. We are all people, and always be kind because
Kindness rules.
Yes.
New economy.
This is a great structure that I completely believe in and I know is not going anywhere. So.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.